Bienvenidos al foro de lucha de nuestra octava Escuela Internacional de Verano de la TIR. Como veis en la mesa, este año ha sido un año de importantes luchas y movilizaciones y contamos con un montón de compañeros y compañeras ponentes que nos van a hablar de los diferentes conflictos, luchas que han ido viviendo a lo largo de este curso. En primer lugar, va a intervenir el compañero Manos de OKDE. Demos la bienvenida.
Hello, comrades. Stamata. Okay. May I? Okay, Pame. So the recent period in Greece represents a certain comeback of the mass movement after its defeat that was inflicted by the so-called left government of Syriza in the period between 2015 and 2019. Recently, we are experiencing a comeback of the mass movement. For example, last year, we had the biggest workers' strike for years on the occasion of a train accident where 57 people were killed. And that was clearly the fault of the state, of the government, and a very big general strike took place on that occasion. This year, we have experienced the largest student movement in 15 years, university student movement, against a new law that would permit the foundation, the establishment of private universities, including occupation of most schools around the country for 2 months. But what I will stress is the struggle against fascism, because during this last year, we have also seen an anti-fascist movement develop that managed to cancel a pan-European fascist rally that would take place in a district of Athens on November the 1st. It was planned to take place with fascists and Nazis coming from all around Europe on the occasion of the 10th anniversary since the execution of two fascists in November 2013. Two fascists at the time were executed. And 10 years after that, the fascists in Greece tried to organize a pan-European event in their memory. So it is important, this campaign that the anti-fascist movement led, the campaign that took place for some months and ended up canceling this fascist attempt is important because, as you know, in Greece we have experienced the Golden Dawn, the rise of the Golden Dawn, that was not simply a far-right party, it was a Nazi party, an old-fashioned Nazi party by the textbook, and a genuine party that was based on a proto-fascist movement in Greece and managed to take 10% in the elections in the early 2010s. So I will refer to some basic tasks in confronting fascism as they are defined according to some key features of fascism. First thing, fascism invests on the individualization of the working class and of the people. So against this process of individualization, we have to invest ourselves in mass action of the organized working class. It is true that even in its peak, the Nazi party, the fascist party in Greece, was never strong in the unions. organized structures of the working class are not a good milieu for them to evolve, to develop, to grow. So first thing that is important to do is mobilize union. It's difficult. I will need a little more because it's difficult to articulate in English. Sorry. Sorry for that, comrades. So first thing is important to mobilize unions and to build united front actions with bringing massively people to the streets. Second thing, fascists are reinforced by giving the image, giving the impression of being invincible in the streets. So it is important to also face them with combativity. Combativity, so mass action, second thing is combativity. This all means to be prepared to protect the mass movement against them, to withstand their attacks, and even to physically attack them. This means that we need to build vanguard organizations, even guards, that will undertake this task. And this is not because we pretend to be heroes. No. It is, as a comrade said, that at some point you realize that it is better to meet fascists wearing your boots than wearing your slippers. Third thing, the foundation, the ideological foundation of fascism is nationalism, sexism, racism, and all reactionary ideologies. So we have to also engage into an ideological battle against them, a campaign that has to be continuous, to directly challenge these foundations and not to compromise, not to try to better represent the so-called national interests in the name of not letting fascists take advantage of that, not try to accommodate petit bourgeois phobias. Because once, for example, when you have the refugees coming in the country, there are certain currents that thought that what we should do is say, okay, let's differentiate between those that really need asylum and give them asylum, but then control the flows. But once you admit that refugees are a problem, then fascists have the advantage because they propose something more clear than you. Get them all out, kick them out. So no, what we should demand is open the borders for everybody. Fourth element, last element, fascists are based on a fake anti-systemic jargon. So we should confront them by our class independence with radical means, with means of revolutionary policies. No broad democratic fronts and alliances with bourgeois parties. No popular fronts can resist fascism, because if in the name of fighting fascism we trail behind the supposedly democratic bourgeois parties who impose austerity and inflict oppression to the people, then fascists can take advantage and say, look, they are all the same. They're all the same, and we are the only ones that are against the system. So, I conclude with that. On November the 1st, the anti-fascist movement has been successful because it managed to combine all those four elements by a campaign to mobilize local unions in that district against the fascist demo. Local community workers, which we happen to control, this union, the teachers' union, the Association of Parents of High School Students, and even university student unions, to organize a big concert against, and a big demonstration against them, a big concert first and then the demonstration at the same date. Second, a strong security service with the participation of the far left and anarchist groups, mainly, to make sure that it would be safe to go there, to make sure that in case of an encounter with the fascists, we would not be defeated, and to attack the moral of the fascists, to harm the moral of the fascists. Because if you have 200 people equipped to guard the concert, the fascists would not appear, and they didn't. 3, an ideological campaign with leaflets, meetings, which still goes on, and we are going to organize an anti-fascist congress in October, which you are, I will tell you details in the future. And final point, with putting forward also demands to unite the movement, the anti-fascist movement, with the everyday needs of the working people. And slogans against the government and against the bourgeois state. This also had a practical consequence, because finally, under the pressure of the movement, the police banned the fascist demonstration, but also banned our demonstration, saying that, okay, let's cancel both. There were those who said that we have already won because this was not our demonstration. But finally, the fascists resigned, they didn't do anything, but we organized a clandestine demonstration, even rather small because it was very risky, so not many would join. But this was important because it highlighted that while fascists obeyed to the police, the anti-fascist movement didn't. So they are on the side of the system, and we are not. Thank you.